Hey everybody. All right. Okay. OBS crashed. All right. We saw most of Nomad 1. We don't have to rewatch the entire 5-minute map. Let's just move on into Nomad 2. Josai Kenpo saying again, this was a custom for Kanyo Cup for Map by Dynamo. And apparently this didn't even end up being played. But it's a silly song. I think most of the OSU community's exposure to Homarju is like exclusively the Masterpiece remix, so I'd love to see Homarju in somewhere that isn't old Square Jump. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, it's a pretty standard Dynamo map where you just have, like, there's a fair amount of aim in these sections, but most of the map is really centric on the 200 BPM flow aim in the key eyes. It isn't exactly complicated patterning so much as it is just consistently difficult flow patterning, right? You know, there is, like, no exponential speed that you have to follow. You just have to follow the single speed the entire time, which I do not think is a very hard ask. Also, shoutouts to featuring R. Cena. My personal headcanon belief is that John Cena went under alt for this one. This is featuring Ron Cena right here. That's my headcanon. Such a fun song, though. I don't think I ever would have heard this song and thought Nomad 2, but, like, I see the vision from Dynamo. What a banger. Also, shout out to Skill Issue for the replay. So, this time we didn't make the replay thread the day before Showcase. This time it was made 2 days before Showcase, I want to say. Maybe even 3. But either way, we came down to a super huge time crunch for replays, so the entire replay tape really helped out. Skill Issue was one of them. We also have, on some of the leader maps, we have Yukari Smug did a lot. Semi helped out with gathering people. Edbones gathered a lot of people. Edbones is the real hero of this showcase. This showcase would not have happened without Edbones getting 5 billion different people to do replays. But yeah, that's Nomad 2. Move on into Nomad 3. First custom of the pool here. Grin, mapped by returning Wonderland Cup mapper Tai. Now Tai, last year he was kind of part of this experiment that I took with Wonderland Cup, where I was like, if I'm hosting a tournament, like, I want something to be at least slightly different about how the mapping team comes together. Like, I know so many tournament mappers, and it would be easy to just get them. And I had reached out to a bunch of mappers that I'd either talked to like once and had never touched tournaments, or I had not talked to at all. Tai was one of those people, and made multiple customs for Wonderland Cup last year, and he's back to do it again this year, as a well-improved mapper. With this map, it is like super tough aim control. You can see it right here. These patterns extend out so far at 130 BPM. And it is super difficult to consistently play. It's so fun though. Like, it's AR 9.5, so it's not especially difficult to read. CS 3.5 is also a little bit of a mercy given this patterning, but it is still very, very difficult no matter what. Also, the song's just great. Hune's always good. This song stands out to me. This song is, I associate this with OSU Tournament Client because on an older computer, whenever I'd open OSU Tournament Client, and if you stream OSU tournaments, you know this. When you open the tournament client, there is just like one song that like, it won't always play when you open the client, but the client has some like super preferential treatment for that one song. For me, that was Grin for a while. Now it's a different song with some featured artist. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it used to be Grin, so I associate those beginning piano notes with opening the tourney client. And I'm glad to actually see it in a tournament now. But yeah, that's Nomod 3. Let's move on into Nomod 4. Oh gosh, okay, so high SR tech is always hard. It's always really, really hard to fool. This is kind of the point where you have to like start relying on like full isolated slider aim. And that's what Shield here tests. There's a couple tech naps in this pool. Shield was meant to be the raw slider aim test, right? Like so big, hard to follow sliders. And you're going to be dropping slider ends everywhere on this map. Yeah, it's 200 BPM, but like very like long gaps between rhythm. So it's not like especially heavy in terms of rhythm. It's just these sliders that are really your downfall here. They're even this slow slider is like kind of, it takes you a second to catch up with reading it. Also, song's nice. I think Onumi's good. Onumi's super underrated. I think I heard of Onumi because of the Taiko tiebreaker that they did with Akira Complex. Oh, I can't remember the name. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I got nothing. It was an Onumi and Akira Complex collab, and it was like super, super interesting. And ever since then, I've been a fan. Kind of able to lock down that, like, I don't even know what genre to call this. Because my brain just auto-defaults to dubstep. But it's not. Just dubstep. Is it Neuro? This could be Neuro. I'm not sure. Okay, let's go. Yeah, I mean, not too much to say about this map. This map kind of shows all in its hand in the first 15 seconds, right? Like, it's raw slider aim. That's Nomod 4. Alright, Nomod 5. This one a lot speed heavier than the rest of the pool so far. So last week we had quite a bit of speed. I wasn't personally a fan of how the balance ended up working out, like kind of retrospectively, right? Like we had a lot of raw speed with not a lot to compensate for that, right? Like we had all of the DT maps were above 260 BPM, and DT1 was like very, very tapping heavy. DT3 was basically 290, so this week we're changing how the speed goes a little bit. So our like really high BPM speed now is in No Mod 1 this week. Sorry, No Mod 5. 256. This is kind of raw speed. There's a little bit of an aim element, just because I think it's important to have that in a speed map. Like, if you have a speed map with no aim element, or at least like some other secondary skill set, you're gonna have players who don't play speed completely just lock in, mash through, and be fine. You need something to check the macros, right? And that's what Sonatina here does, because there is a generally significant aim element to this, not only in like those little like low aim spots, but also just some between like 1/2 rhythm objects can be a little surprising in terms of the spacing. And the song's also great. This song is from one of the Global Taiko Showdowns. I don't remember which one. I want to say it was... Oh, what was it called? Lord Slayer? Llama. Lord Ender? Lord Ender Global Taiko Showdown. Okay. Yeah. I think it was a grand finals tiebreaker there, but here it worked just fine in the No Mod 5. That's the thing with Taiko songs, is they scale so hard. Like in terms of like standard, because I mean there are some Taiko songs that you can just like legit map in standard and it's a perfect conversion. Like you look at one of my personal favorites from GTS 2022 was Grabenschrift. Grabenschrift or Der Goter, I think, which was like it was GTS Finals tiebreaker, and you could just it's like 200 BPM tech. You can perfectly translate that over to Osu standard. But some of these Taiko tiebreakers, man, they're like 270 BPM. Maybe my favorite GTS tiebreaker ever is Fractured Angel by DJ Rice, which is 300 BPM. So really hit or miss if you can convert them to standard. Yeah, that's No Mod 5. Move on into No Mod 6. I kind of forget that No Mod 5 just ends so abruptly. I wasn't paying attention to the time grab. But No Mod 6 is going to be Gravity Hole. I find this one super interesting. It's a kind of between a precision and reading gimmick, right? It's CS6 AR8. So you have the low AR that makes this kind of map inherently uncomfortable. But you also have like that CS6 patterning that is so difficult to hit consistently. And here you see where the AR8 really comes into effect, right? Because now you're constantly moving across the screen, and there are objects appearing where your eyes are certainly not looking. And you especially have like those little cuts with the triples, and it's so tough to keep up with that, along with just being able to hit barebones CS6. It's a super interesting skill set mix, in my opinion, to have something like this. Song's also nice as well. Krimic always has the bangers. I do love Krimic. That's my guy. I thought this map was mapped by Krimic too, until putting this showcase together and noticing that it was actually mapped by Nitro's side. Like, I'm curious if Krimic has a GD on this, I'm not sure, but obviously his own song. Also, this is 174 BPM, so you shouldn't have like any trouble with the tapping. It's very slow, but I think that just increases the difficulty of reading as the spacing can be higher. but it's also a very short map coming right up on the end. So hopefully, if you're suffering, you're not suffering for too long. But speaking of suffering, let's talk again about speed. So we have 3D keys in this pool, right? And that means making a choice. Do we just put all the speed in DT, or do we distribute it differently among the pool? For this week, we're distributing differently among the pool. So, rather than 3 speed maps in DT, there's just 2, and we added one to Hidden to kind of bring forth a density slot for this Hidden one. It is very aim-focused, even in comparison to the Nomad 5, at least in my opinion. But what you're really going to be looking at is just, you know, you're playing 240 BPM patterning. AR 9.5 is a pretty nice, sort of compromise for the amount of density that you're getting, but it can still be really tough to keep up with at times. Yeah, and also, this is one of Wonderland Cup's newer mappers, Suncac. So Suncac has ranked maps. He also had Waifu Jam, which we had in last week, of course. But to my knowledge, this is the first time that Suncac has done a tourney map, which is, yeah, like I talked with how Tai was last year. Is one of my bigger goals is to bring mappers who have never done a tournament into the scene, because I think the most important thing for tournaments to have in terms of like custom maps is people with new ideas, people who want to make original stuff, and I think mappers like Suncac are great for that. Like, I don't think like the song was definitely on people's radar, but mapping it like this certainly wasn't. You know, it's aim heavy enough, but it's still like got quite a bit of speed. It's like all over the place, and I think it's really, really cool. This just feels like a beat map, right? This doesn't feel like a tourney custom, and that's the feeling I kind of strive for with these maps. Shout out to Ketoff for the replay as well. Ketoff has been stepping it up the past 2 weeks from No Mod 1 only to No Mod 1 and Friends. And he certainly had fun with them this week, as you can see from the smokes. Song is of course great as well. I love Sasakura UK. Yeah, I'm shocked that this gets less attention from other Sasakura songs, because this is like the quintessential Sasakura UK song, at least to me. It's awesome. I love this song. Yeah. Again, thank you, Ketoff, for the replay. Thank you, Suncac, for the amazing custom map. I mean, this is amazing. That's gonna be the hidden one. Move on into Hidden 2. That's a lot. Like, you gotta have at least one, like, known map, right? It's a Captain 1 AR8 aim map. I thought it made a little more sense to have a more aim-focused Hidden 2 this week. Just given how the rest of the pool works out. So, here we are. It's like, you're very much trying to keep up with what the map is doing, right? Like, the AR makes it feel like it shouldn't be 220 BPM, but it definitely still is 220 BPM, and you have to kind of keep up with that 220 BPM aim, along with some, like, pretty difficult patterning in terms of reading at points. It is all over the place in terms of difficulty. Song's a banger. I think Sampling Masters Mega always got some tunes. I know, there's a well-known tourney mapper, Alvaria, who absolutely loves Sampling Masters Mega, and I think, in fact, that this diff actually ended up going onto a various set of the same song. Guy just likes Sampling Masters. You gotta respect it. And I get it. Just kind of a bot. Shout out to Semi for this replay as well, who literally got eliminated this week. Immediately messaged, asked if he wanted to play test, and went to set this replay. Yeah, that's Hidden 2. Let's move on into Hidden 3. So I actually, I legitimately thought that we pulled this last year. Yeah, so this is flow tech oriented Relazy map. And I swear I remember pulling this. Vividly, number one, I had the map. But number two, I feel like I remember putting it in a pool sheet. I looked at the usage. None of the tournaments I pooled were listed. So I guess I'm just crazy. There's a chance that what happened is that we pulled this in Wonderland Cup last year, and then it was removed for some reason. I have a theory that it was actually replaced in either it was replaced in the semifinals, either for being too hard, or in the finals for being too easy potentially. So it didn't happen. But you know what? It's home. Welcome home, Nexta. As I said, super flow tech oriented, 160 BPM. So where our normal 3 is very aim control heavy, this is kind of meant to balance that out with something a lot flow heavier. Although there's still quite a bit of aim control to this. And obviously there are not just 2 alt maps in the pool. But yeah, it's super tough, but super fun. It's also super short, just 2 minutes, regular rhythm game length song. Coming to an end for this Hidden 3. Let's move on into Hard Rock 1. So Flame Haze is an example of a mapper who is really good and just untouched as far as tournaments go. I think I've pulled Flame Haze aim maps before. I want to say I have. But I don't think Flame Haze has made a tournament custom until now. I believe this is his first tournament as a custom mapper, which is crazy, because this guy's been around for years, creating some of the highest quality aim maps in the game right now, I think. Genuinely. I love Flame Haze's aim. And Kakame Dualism perfectly matches that. It is just super fun. You know, there's elements of all types of aim in this map. 205 BPM and 4 minutes long. This is just the perfect CS 5.2 aim test. Shout out to Yukari Smug as well, finally showing up in terms of the replayers who did a lot last night. Literally, Ed Bones was just reaching out to replayers, and Yukari Smug was one of the people to respond. Never set a replay in their life, apparently, and still came out to ball. So super grateful to Yukari Smug for helping out, because I do not know what we would have done with even just one less replayer. Yeah, I mean, God, Flame Haze, dude. I'm so happy to see this map, to be real. Yeah, so when we started planning for Wonderland Cup through the Looking Glass, I had made just a big list of mappers. I had, the list was basically, here are A, returning mappers from Wonderland Cup, B, mappers who I think are experienced with tournament mapping and can always make a pretty good product. And C, mappers who I, like, believe in with my whole soul to, even though they've only made, you know, 0 or 1 tournament customs, they will make some of the best maps in the tournament. Flame Haze was on that list. Some Australian representation in the mapping team. It's always awesome to have. Like, there's not that many Australian mappers, which kind of makes me sad, because, like, the ones I know are pretty damn good. And of course, if you want a good aim map, like, look no further than the country that does exactly that. The song's also just a banger. I think it was originally a Vocaloid song, but I actually really like this cover. Maybe that's because I have Stockholm Syndrome, like, because this song is in the Bang Dream rhythm game, which I played for longer than I'd like to admit. And that cover is so bad. It is unlistenable. But you know, I'll play any chart for gacha currency. So it's nice to hear this over the Roselia versus Afterglow Kakame dualism. It's awful. But yeah, wrapping up on the map. Thank you again so much to Yukari's Mug and Flame Haze. Let's move on into Hard Rock 2. This is one that Edbones and I both really like. And probably because it's Hollow Wings, let's be honest. There are quotas that we have to hit when we pool tournaments, me and Edbones. So there's the Love Live quota, there's the Toho quota, and more specifically, there's the Hollow Wings quota. There's also the Miku quota. All of those have to be hit at some point. This is our second time hitting on the Hollow Wings quota after Crystal Snow from last week. And super big fan of this map. It is really snappy, 172 BPM precision. I think it's one of the most interesting maps as far as, like, CS5 precision goes. Like, I kind of wanted to scale the CS up by this point, but this map does a really good job of making it so you don't have to, by making it, like, almost feel smaller with how quick you have to hit these snaps. And Yukari Smug goes crazy on this map. Also, shoutouts to Hollow Wings as far as the metadata goes. Like, if you don't know the backstory behind these Hollow Wings maps, she actually, like, reached out to the artist because she just read the metadata and just decided, like, nah, that's wrong. So she reached out to the artist to get the correct metadata. And here we go into Hard Rock 3. Actually, I forgot to record it with the title, apparently. Wait, no, I figured out what's going on. Alright, are you ready? It's about to end? Okay, so here's what happened. So there's two versions of that video because I realized I didn't record it with the title. Okay, alright, watch this. Alright! Yeah, so there's a reason this showcase was 30 minutes late. Again, the replays were very down to the wire, and that meant some recording mistakes. So attempt number 2, here we go. Justice Monster, mapped by its Thai people. Back again. It's been a whole, 9 maps. It's been such a long time since we've seen him. Yeah, Ty, he's kind of correct. There was this period, right after January, where Ty was mapping like mad to get stuff done for multiple tournaments I was pooling. I would just, like, every day I'd wake up to a new OSZ, and that's just kind of how it was. And Justice Monster as part of that, right? Like, this is just one of the maps he pumped out. This one, much more focused on the flow control than the other alt maps. Like, nothing about this isn't flow control, right? So you have to be super, super good on that flow aim. I feel like a lot of people did not feel very good about the difficulty on Hard Rock 3 last week, and I hope this kind of solves that issue. This says, like, hey, this is an actual 7.4 star alt map. Also, shoutouts to A, Semi for asking, but B, to JP for getting this replay. Semi literally reached out to him like 15 minutes before the showcase like planned start time, and he was like, "Hey, Tycoon is desperate. Can you just get a replay on this?" And like, legend he is. JP immediately got one. It's almost 4 minutes long, so you have to like stay really, really consistent. Like 4 minutes, OD10, flow aim. It's so hard. Also, of course, classic song, right? We love Justice Monster. I have had this problem though, where I don't really like any Justice Monster map. Ty has solved this for me. I really like this map. This map's so fun. Like, there's obviously there's the Sedia Loved one. There is also the Chizukun ranked map of Justice Monster, which uses this BG. But like, I think this map is like the most interesting in terms of the patterning that it actually uses. Just see how brutal that flow control gets. This kind of feels like it's almost building on the Nomad 2 from quarterfinals, except in a pool where that is like better suited for the difficulty. I think people thought Nomad 2 was too hard last week, so hopefully this kind of corrects for that. Like, hey, here's what Nomad 2 was doing, but at 20 lower BPM. But yeah. That's the Hard Rock 3. Thank you, Ty, for the map. Thank you, JP, for the replay. Let's move on into DT1, baby! So there's this, if you didn't see the showcase announcement message in the Discord, it was quite literally just a video of, I think, a Mango with Toko Soko Eurobeat remix playing. That's just a random tweet from Lola that I retweeted like 2 months ago, and I found it while putting together the showcase last week. I was like, okay, well, we have to use it for the Coco Soko DT1 that we have here. So, here we are. Shoutouts to Hyper Pigeon, not only for the map, but for the replay. Going for that speed-oriented, but still very aimy Coco Soko. This is super, super fun. I love this map. Hyper Pigeon was another one on the new list. To my knowledge, Hyper Pigeon hasn't done any tournament customs, and not within what I look. But very good mapper for the speed players, as a speed player himself. So, that's the GOAT right there. Yeah, if you don't know who Hyper Pigeon is, like, Hyper Pigeon's, like, actually goated, like, top Korean speed player. This is funny, I was in a call with some other, mappers earlier today, talking about how, like, South Korea doesn't really have that many speed players. But Hyper Pigeon is actually like the exception in a major way. And now Speed Mapper. That's the GOAT. Also, great song, of course. I love Coco Soko. It was actually a DT1 in the first tournament I ever played, the original Coco Soko, not the Eurobeat one. And for that, I will always be partial to this song. But yeah, thank you, Hyper Pigeon, so much for the map, for the replay. You're the GOAT. Let's move on into DT2. So, I didn't think about this until, like, until I was about to go live, but Cotton Candy Wonderland's a really funny map to put here, huh? Like, you really think about that. So, I wanted to put, Elcher did 2 Endorphin speed maps for Corsair's Open at 2022, and one of them was Cotton Candy Wonderland, the other one was Alice's Suitcase. Now, I wanted to pull Alice's Suitcase. I did not think until 30 minutes before the showcase, like, wait, Cotton Candy Wonderland. Why am I thinking about Alice's Suitcase? We have it right here. Super, like, stamina heavy for 2 minutes, like 234 BPM. This is meant to finally round out the speed pool. You know, you have your raw speed no mod 5. You have your aim with burst hidden 1. You have your burst with aim DT2, and you have your stamina DT2. Did I say a burst with aim DT2? Burst with aim DT1, and that one a little more finger control. Or this one is just completely on that stamina element, like so many long streams here, along with quite a bit of finger control in between those, just to make sure you're never really comfortable. Yeah, also, I noticed, and I didn't point this out, but I noticed we had all 10.3 last week, which was a mistake. If I had realized ahead of the showcase, I would have probably replaced DT3 that week. But this week, didn't repeat that mistake. Purposely went for an AR10 DT2. So now we're chilling. Shout out to Skill Issue for the replay, by the way. Like, nobody on the replay team is speed players, so Skill Issue taking the sacrifice every time, thank you. You're a soldier. Yeah, true. I mean, that's what we did last week. But yeah, that's DT2. Let's move on into DT3. It's another custom and another one from the list. Chromasia. Now, I did not know who Chromasia was when we started planning Wonderland Cup for this year, but I learned who he was because of a Minecraft server. Some might remember the Chromie SMP3, which I played on, and I met Chromasia on there, and I learned, like, he was a mapper. Well, we won't talk about the rest of what happened with that server. But, I learned he was a mapper on there, and I remember just, like, one night I was streaming and the server was down, and I just, like, I went on OSU and I just, like, checked out Chromasia. I was like, wait, this guy's, like, actually, like, good. And so I was like, yeah, we gotta, I want to see how a Chromasia tourney map does. I certainly wasn't expecting a DT tech, though. But that's what we got, like, Lowy DT tech, Fashionista. This is super, super entertaining of a map. I mean, nothing too out of the ordinary. It is AR 10.3 for 2 minutes. Just like nice little chill vibe. Some big sliders. I think it's super cool to have a tech map from someone who isn't really known for mapping tech. I always think those maps kind of are interesting because, like, once you define a style of tech that you like, that is the style of tech that you will be mapping for the rest of your life. So it's always nice to have the newer mappers who don't quite have, like, a rigid style figured out, because they always have, like, really interesting ideas. And of course, this is Croatia's first tournament custom, to my knowledge. So, yeah, shout out. And thank you, Skillish, for the replay. So, into Free Mod 1. Surprisingly, it's a Hydron map that isn't a custom. That actually isn't a tourney map at all. So we hit the Miku quota. So Hydron, I mean, he is a pooled in every pool so far, except for qualifiers, because qualifiers doesn't count as far as I'm concerned. I mean, he was on the round of 16 No Mod 1 collab. He also mapped the quarterfinals Hidden 1, and now, not to his knowledge, but he has appeared here in the semifinals Free Mod 1. Kami no Kotoba, not the Jones on set, not even the same Kami no Kotoba that Jones on mapped in terms of who's doing vocals. But it's, like, it is a Kami no Kotoba, right? Like, it's Russian, awkward aim mapping, AR9, and 2 out of 10 BPM. This is super, super tough, right? Like, no matter what mod you take, you're going to be struggling on this, and that was kind of the hope. It's very easy to pull a very, very passive kind of Free Mod 1. And I think this map is an example of something that isn't passive at all, right? Like, one of the things with passive is, we had some last year. We had Wagon was one of them, mapped by Kotachi. Now, I love Wagon to death. I love Kotachi to death. But the map isn't really, like, a good map for free mod. Of upload slots before uploading one of his custom, and I had to buy him support so that he could upload a map. So he's been very, very, very conscious about how he's using his upload slots for this tournament. And so we knew that he literally could not make any more maps after Eden because he will not have the upload slots to do so. He will be locked down for 28 days after uploading this map. So this is the final. But yeah, it's a great map. I think what is interesting about this is the alt BPM actually lends a lot more to a better reading element for Hidden. I think this is like the real reading map of the pool, where No Mod 6 is reading precision, Hidden 2 is reading aim. You know, this is still CS 5.3, but the AR 7.5 alongside the patterning, I think, makes this a lot harder to read. It is worth talking about. It's not CS5 AR8. 5.3, 7.5 means that it's a little bit harder for those mod specialists now, right? I don't know how much we'll continue climbing into the future. I want to climb further. Yeah, CS6 AR7 is the dream. But yeah, it's super fun to have an anti-mod map like this. And I think Tide popped off with this. This might be my favorite of the maps that he's done for Wonderland Cup this year. It's super fun. Big fan of Eden here. But it's gonna be really tough to get through this. Yeah, that is the whole map. Thank you, Yukari Smug, for the replay. The only S rank. And thank you, Ty, for the free mod 2. Let's move on into free mod 3. So normally free mod 3 is what we call the silly slot. This is where the poolers kind of pop off. And when we started planning for this year, we actually said that free mod 3 was off limit for customs. But Bob presented us with an interesting idea. My goat, actual username, just Bob. 162 BPM, full like flow rhythm control. I forgot to include the extra settings for Hard Rock down in the stats below, but it's CS 5.2, AR10, OD10. So like super hard on the flow for Hidden. Actually for both mods, I'd say. It's more just, are you willing to take the bite of the reading gap for Hidden over the mechanical gap for Hard Rock, right? It's so hard. Yeah, 64K, right? I talked about how none of us are especially good speed players when it comes to setting replays. That becomes triple true for rhythm control. So, yeah, shout out to Skill Issue for even trying, because I certainly wasn't. On Hard Rock, no less. That's the goat. Yeah, shoutouts to Bob for making a map fitting of the silly slot. This is a map that I feel comfortable putting next to Crystal Snow, you know? Like, it is absolutely silly. And I love it for that. I think Bob's a great mapper, like, you know, always really good with the flow control. Of course, the rhythm control, he's really good at as well. And he popped off with this one. It's also nearly 3 minutes, so you gotta be pretty consistently able to play this. Yeah, that is the end of the free mod 3. Thank you, Bob, for the custom. Thank you, Skillish, for the replay. There is just one map left in the pool. We've got a special surprise. When we started planning Wonderland Cup through the Looking Glass, I made the choice to go for something a little more special than normal. And I had commissioned an artist for a Grand Finals tiebreaker song. Since then, 2 more artists have joined the tournament to create wonderful, wonderful music, to create a total of 3 Wonderland Cup original songs. And we will be revealing the first, this one, to give a little introduction to it. It is very silly, very fun, just a whole lot of... It's messed up, honestly. I love it to death. Let's roll the semifinals tiebreaker.
For you. Well then, I'll be sure to test you with this next one.
Hello!
You're still here? I really underestimated you. Well then, I guess I'll have to take it somewhat hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, just to the best beat. Well, I can't really do anything, can I?
So that is the incredibly insane semifinals tiebreaker. One that's title is so big that it goes off screen in Osu. It goes almost off screen on the pool sheet. We actually had to like expand the title size. Warning! Local cat girl entertainer challenges you to a multi-genre death battle by Cool featuring Nyana Banyana, an independent VTuber from Puerto Rico. Both of them have been working at this for months. Shout out as well to number one, Nyana's manager Magic, who has been so gracious in like organization and stuff and making sure that everything go through, and to Celestial for drawing the background of the absolutely insane looking Nyana that is behind this track. It has been such a fun project. To explain, there's been a lot of talk about the name Dave in chat by those who know. So there was a while where there was a different title for this song that I had not approved. I had explicitly denied for using this tournament. And so the mappers who they needed metadata, and so Quantum Vortex just said, "Alright, I'm calling the song Dave." And since then it is latched on as the culture, right? Like, everybody who has worked on this project has referred to it by the name of Dave now. There are, I think most of the people involved with this tiebreaker have their Discord nickname set to some variation of Dave in the Wonderland Cup server. It has been this crucial piece of lore that has driven this project along to create this. Honestly, like it's such a wacky tiebreaker, right? It's something that Cool came to me and I was like, I don't even know how this concept would work, but I'll trust you. I'll trust in Dave. And I'm happy with how it came out. It is the silliest track in the world, but it is so fun. And happy to call it the first of the 3 Wonderland Cup original tracks. Thank you so much to Cool for doing this. He was actually the artist who approached me to do this tiebreaker, which I'm super happy about. And yeah, enjoy the pool. Pool and schedule will be out on the sheet in about an hour, I think. I actually need to do the schedule still. It has been a very busy day. And thank you, thank you Saint for the replay. Edbones brought Saint in like last minute to get a replay done for this map. Literally 15 minutes before we were supposed to go live. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Again, players, schedule pool, they'll be out on the sheet in an hour. And good luck this weekend.